Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition of Monday, 1st January 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group is Guyana's economy to grow by 39.2%, ECLAC report. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. The United Nations Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC, projects an impressive 39.2% growth for Guyana's economy. HGP's Dacia Richards reports on this significant economic prediction and its implications for the country.
This is stated in the recent report titled Preliminary Overview of the Economies of Latin America and the Caribbean. The United Nations Economic Commission of Latin America and the Caribbean updated its economic predictions for the year 2023 to reflect further gross domestic product (GDP) growth for Guyana. Gross domestic product is a monetary measure of the market value of all the final goods and services produced by a country. According to the report, Guyana's growth stems from the startup of oil-shore production. The report explained that all the sub-regions will post lower growth in 2023 than in 2022, where South America is set to grow by 1.5%, 3.8% in 2022. The group comprising Central America and Mexico by 3.5%, 4.1% in 2022, and the Caribbean excluding Guyana by 3.4%, 6.4% in 2022. It further explains that the projections were made at a time when countries of the region have limited fiscal and monetary policy space and little impetus from international conditions. In April, ECLAC predicted a 37.2% growth rate for Guyana in 2023. Guyana is also expected to experience a GDP growth of 28.9% in 2024, outperforming other Latin American and Caribbean countries. According to Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashney Singh, government will continue working to better the lives of the Guyanese people.
And even as we face these unprecedented challenges of our time, we remain firmly focused on the task of advancing and accelerating our development agenda, aimed at realizing in the shortest possible time improved well-being and prosperity for all Guyanese.
For AGP Nightly News, I am Dacia Richards.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has ordered 6,000 troops to begin what he calls defensive exercises in the Eastern Caribbean Sea. The mobilization comes in response to provocations by the decadent former British Empire. The UK has sent a patrol boat to Guyana in a show of solidarity. Is Maduro blowing the incident out of proportion to galvanize his supporters? More from this Vantage report.
So today we have issued a statement of condemnation, of rejection in which Venezuela reserves all constitutional actions within the framework of international law to defend our territorial integrity, our waters, our Atlantic and our national sovereignty.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro is ready for action. He has put on his wartime baseball cap. He's mobilizing his forces, preparing them for war against an existential threat.
This is why I have ordered the activation of a joint action of the entire Bolivarian National Military Armed Forces over the Eastern Caribbean of Venezuela, over the Atlantic facade, and a joint action of a defensive nature as a response to the provocation and threat of the United Kingdom against the peace and sovereignty of our country.
That mighty threat is apparently the United Kingdom. Not the US, but the UK. How did this happen? how did the British become a threat to Venezuela almost a century after their glory days?
Guyana has privately ratified that it will host the threatening ship from the decadent former British Empire.
The threatening ship is a British warship being sent to Guyana. Guyana is a former British colony in South America. It neighbors Venezuela, and recently the two neighbors have been caught in a diplomatic crisis. It's over land, an area known as Essequibo. Essequibo makes up almost 3/4 of Guyana. The area is rich in resources, including oil. It has been governed by Guyana for decades, but Venezuela claims the entire region for itself. It says Essequibo was stolen by the British all the way back in the 1800s, and Caracas has tried to take the region back diplomatically for years. But this year, Maduro got tired of waiting. Instead, he held a referendum. He asked his citizens if they should just start handing out Venezuelan passports to the people of Essequibo. And almost 100% of the people voted yes. Those who showed up to vote anyway. The voter turnout is disputed. Maduro and his allies say that over 51% of eligible people voted. His opponents say the turnout was about 10%. Not really a thumping endorsement for his cause. But nonetheless, Maduro has decided that Essequibo is of high priority. Which brings us back to the new decadent British threat. Maduro is summoning his forces, conducting defensive exercises with around 6,000 troops. That will surely deter the British nautical threat lurking around the Guyana coast. And what is this threatening British warship? The dreaded HMS Trent. Can it carry ballistic missiles? No. Combat aircraft? Just a helicopter and some drones. A legion of troops then? Well, about 50 people at best. So then why is Maduro mobilizing 6,000 troops to challenge this patrol boat? Perhaps he has other intentions. He may be looking to galvanize his supporters, unite the country in the face of a foreign enemy. But the thing is, the decadent former British Empire doesn't really scream death and destruction these days, especially not when they're sending a patrol boat to look tough to their former colony. So Maduro is really clutching at straws as he tries to create an existential crisis.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
General Secretary of the PPPC, Bharat Jagdeo, assures that Guyana has no intention of taking offensive action against Venezuela, even as the British warship HMS Trent is set to arrive soon. He emphasizes Guyana's dedication to the Argyll Agreement. HGP Shamar Aline elaborates on the Vice President's commitment to peace and diplomacy.
Guyana has no plans to take any offensive action against Venezuela, with the British Navy vessel HMS Trent expected to arrive in Guyana. So says Vice President Bharat Jagdeo. Jagdeo's comments came after Venezuela rejected the deployment of the vessel, noting that the move was an act of hostile provocation.
We don't have any plan to take offensive action against Venezuela. Whatever we do here has been routine and has been long planned.
The Vice President contended that the warship was not to fight war, but to better police Guyana's exclusive economic zone and safeguard its territorial integrity.
These measures, a lot of these measures were long planned, and they're routine, and they are part of our building a defensive capability. Nothing that we do or we have done has threatened Venezuela. We don't plan on invading Venezuela.
Based on reports, the vessel will participate in joint exercises after Christmas. The UK's Ministry of Defence spokesperson explained that the HMS Trent's visit to Guyana is part of its Atlantic Patrol Task deployment, emphasizing the vessel's role in regional engagements. The vessel is primarily being employed to address piracy, smuggling, protecting fisheries, countering terrorism, humanitarian aid, and search and rescue operations. Meanwhile, during a radio program, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, said he had conversations with President Irfan Ali and Nicolas Maduro about the vessel's imminent arrival and noted that it was not a threatening exercise. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Shamor Allen.
Antigua and Barbuda's Police Superintendent Louisa Benjamin Kwashi is basking in her latest academic success with a proud achievement at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. Alicia Humphreys of ABS News reports.
Superintendent of Police Louisa Benjamin Kwashi recently graduated from the University of the West Indies Mona campus, having obtained a Master of Science degree with distinction in National Security and Strategic Studies.
My first exposure to university life was doing my master's program. So I would say that it's never too late to learn, and as long as you believe in yourself and you have the right support team, that you can accomplish anything.
The first female commandant of the Sir Wright F. George Police Academy studied remotely for the first year but had to travel to Mona campus in Jamaica for her second. Despite not having a bachelor's degree, Superintendent Kwashi excelled. The superintendent, who is now stationed in Division B, shares how she was able to matriculate into the master's program.
I would have done a one-year program in Chile in criminal investigation, where I would have been exposed to certain aspects of criminology, forensic, those areas, hostage negotiation, crisis management. So I would want to believe is the fact that I'm a police for 25 years, and I would have completed that course along with I did A-levels here in Antigua and Barbuda, where I did government and politics, law, and history.
Superintendent Kwashi says although her degree is new, having received it in October, the benefits are already present.
It's all-encompassing. It helps you to bridge the blend between what is going on inside of the organization and also dealing with the external partners, so internationally, locally, and regionally, and as it relates to policies and different threats, I am better equipped in order to assist the organization in strategizing, forward planning.
Superintendent of Police Kwashi completed her thesis under the theme of intelligence-led policing with former Police Commissioner of Jamaica, Owen Ellington, as her thesis advisor.
In news of the recent kidnapping of an El Socorro businesswoman on Friday morning, police in Trinidad and Tobago say while there has been no new updates on the kidnapping, every lead in the case is being pursued. TTT News has more.
I also want to take the opportunity to appeal to members of the public, anyone that may have information that could be able to assist us with solving this crime, please come forward, whether it be 999, 555, Crime Stoppers, communicate with any police station or police officer that may be able to assist us.
That is an appeal made to the public by Senior Superintendent Mervyn Edwards. The leader of the Northeastern Police Division says he would like to reunite the victim, Anisha Narayan Budu, with her family before year's end.
Remember, this is someone's mother, someone's daughter, someone's wife, a family member. The police service, we have engaged other arms of the national security apparatus, the intelligence agencies, and we are working assiduously to unite this citizen, this member of the El Socorro Arangwes community, to unite her with her family at the shortest time possible.
Senior Superintendent Edwards pointed out that the police has taken the victim's family into consideration and has offered support.
As a former head of the anti-kidnapping unit, I'm fully aware that when families are kidnapped, when family members are kidnapped, it could be a traumatic experience. So in keeping with this fact, we have afforded counseling to members of the family.
Anisha Narayan Budu was taken by force by men pretending to be police officers on Friday morning in El Socorro.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.